Interesting. I've never seen it do this. It's like, sorry guys, we're having major, interesting things happening. First, it says you have it keeps switching connections here. Okay, live and recording. Oh, here we go. Bingo. All right, we're back. For those of you that don't read lips, and I was trying to do some sign language there. Welcome to the Oracle finally. And actually, as life imitates art or art imitates life, it's what we've been speaking about is this huge surge of energy that's happening on the earth right now, everywhere. Our bodies are wired, our brains are wired to be a bigger capacity than we've been using for a long time. The other 90% of the brain that they say that they don't know why it's there, it's the switch is on now. You are literally wired for sound. So if you've been aware of hearing sounds you've never heard, seeing energy you've never seen, feelings you've never felt, or all of the above, if you do have those experiences anyway, they are magnified. And what you missed when we were first talking about it was, I was talking about the body and how our bodies are, we're huge beings of light. Our energy field goes out 30, 40, 50 feet, and it always has. But for millenniums, we have been programmed to shut down and fall into the illusion that we're separate from self, others, and spirit, separate from God, separate from the garden, separate from the universe. And there's no separation. And that illusion of separation is finished. There's no more illusion of the separation. So it's been a very startling experience for everybody. There's a magnification right now of what's already been here. And one of the things we're going to talk about tonight are how everything has gone full circle in your lives. And I'm sure you're all noticing how whatever you're doing, it's all in present time. You'll start to think about something and it will become very vivid, and you'll realize it's a memory or an experience that you maybe had 20 years ago. It may seem like it was a year ago. Or you're going to be finding yourself having flashes of old hurts or pain that are being brought forward. You're going to move through them faster. Why? Because you can't escape them. So any suffering that you're feeling right now, it's here for you to feel it. It's here for you to be present. It's here for you to ascend up. So as the energies, as we're being bombarded with energy, again, I'm trying to reiterate what we were talking about while you couldn't hear me. What you're going to find is that in your own personal space, again, you are not separate from your home, separate from other people, separate from things that are going on. You may find that things are moving, objects are moving, things are flying around, sounds are being made, things are blowing, basically on all levels, things are blowing up right now. But it's not a bad blowing up. It is an essential clearing of eons of things that have not been right. So let's start with a little meditation to kind of clear some of the energy that's just around here and all the discord that was trying to come in from and those that are present will be they'll testify this. Some very unusual things were going on with this whole board that had nothing to do with anything. It was really interesting. Then trying to get back on was very interesting. So anyway, here we are. Again, and how we still try to perceive the time as May 22nd. This is where we are. And I want you to feel, most importantly, how safe you are, how loved you are, how needed on this planet that you are to be all of who you are, to be awake, to be in an awakened state. Because so much fear is out there. There's, again, levels and layers of fear are being projected at you. So I want you to feel the energy and know that it's not here to harm you. I want you to feel how safe it is to be a spiritual being in a physical body on this earth at this time. And you're here for change. You're here to be a vessel for the light. So again, I want you to, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, feel the safety of your own body. Feel the safety of your own mind. Feel the energy that you are and know you can trust you. You know so much. You remember so much. You're remembering who you are right now. So I want you to feel your body aligned with the earth, at one with the earth, at one with the universe. And it's been a very hectic time. And a lot of you are holding stress in your shoulders. You've been feeling that weight of the world on yourself. Let your shoulders relax. Open your heart. Open the chest. Lots of people, again, have been feeling discomfort, pain through the chest, tightness through the chest. And some of it has to do with armoring, a feeling of I'm open, I'm vulnerable, but I'm feeling other things that are making me want to armor myself. I want you to know that what we're going to do here tonight is create a safe space for you to feel your heart. Let the love, let the compassion, let the unconditional love that's all around you, let it come in. So relax. Let go of the chatter of the lower mind. Let go of the judgment, the critical energy you may have been encountering, the oppositional behaviors you may be encountering all around you, the lack of cooperation on many levels. Keep your eye on the shore. Keep your eye on the ball. I want you to imagine and know that no matter what drama, trauma is going on around you right now, you are safe, you are loved, you are needed on this earth. In accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the bodies to align mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally to present time. Free from the bondage of doubt, fear, shame, guilt, worry. Many of you felt blindsided in the last week. The very things you thought that you'd figured out, had your ducks in a row, all of a sudden it's like the rug got pulled out. Maybe there's a better plan. It's very important not to fixate on how Spirit is bringing change to you. This is the healing that's going on of the lower mind. So again, I want you to feel this huge energy field that the whole universe is, and to know that you are a part of that universal energy. You're not separate from it. You're not alone. You're not going through anything alone. We are all in this. So as you feel the immense tidal wave, hurricane, you need to be in the eye of the hurricane. Yeah, there is a hurricane of energy everywhere. We've been having the tsunamis of karma and the hurricanes of energy moving. The earth is moving in many places right now. I want you to feel and know the movement is not going to stop, but the movement is not going to harm you. Be in the eye of the hurricane. How do we do that? By being in the center. I want you to picture your world, your being, you as the Lord of your creation, a beautiful circle of light, and I want you to see yourself sitting in the middle of that circle. This ring of energy that's going on around you is no longer moving. The wheel of karma, learning through repetition of patterns, is not working anymore. So it's stopped. And because the wheel of karma has stopped in the sense of learning through things being cyclical, you may be feeling overwhelmed. You may be feeling claustrophobic because everything's on you right now. Your whole energy field, you are facing you. So in this circle, that's your life, your world, you're in the middle, you're the dot in the middle. I want you to know how safe, how loved, how protected. And I want you to open to receive. Let all the poisons, all the toxins of the body, mind, and spirit start to go from the top of your head down through your body and drain down into the earth. Again, the bottoms of our feet have hundreds of wheels of light or chakras. I want you to feel the energy moving down. We've all been feeling every ache and pain. Anywhere you may have had an old injury of the body, mind, and spirit, you've been feeling it because we're in present time. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is there to tell you something is wrong. Something is out of balance. So I want you to feel everything and don't get away from it. Just feel it. Let it be here. Let that pain come into your present time, present consciousness, and let it go. There's an honoring of the body temple that's going on right now, and we can no longer push ourselves or not feel well for a while, and then the body finally collapses and says, okay, you're not paying attention, we're just going to collapse. You don't need to do that. There's moderation. So again, I want you to feel anywhere in your body you're feeling discomfort. Lots of people are feeling this, have been feeling discomfort in the heart area, the chest area. Been getting lots of phone calls about people feeling, am I having a heart attack? Am I having a stroke? What's going on? What's going on is that there's surges of electrical energy moving through your body. Don't resist it. Let it come in. We ask in a very gentle way rather than a severe way that these shifts manifest for us in our body, minds, and spirits. But I want you to let the pictures of death go. It's the most common phone call every day. Am I dying? Am I going to die? Why are things dying? Why is everything going away from me? In order to live, we face death. You are dying. You're dying to your old self. You're dying to your old belief systems. You're dying to be reborn without having to leave the body. And the process has not been a lot of fun. So I want you to know, and again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask all pictures of death to be turned into pictures of life, all pictures of fear to be transmuted into pictures of unconditional love and truth. When we face mortality, when we face the death, then we can live. Want you to let go of the fear of what you're letting go of. Your old life that's not working is dying. Let it go. There are people, there are objects, there are ways of doing things, there are ways of believing, there are ways of thinking that are no longer for your highest good. They're no longer serving you. Let it go. There's a higher path, there's a bigger path, there's a huge vantage point of being consciously connected with your higher self. And you don't have to die to go to heaven. You don't have to die to be connected with this higher part of your own being. So as you're sitting in this circle, protected, your world, remember that you are the Lord of your own creation. And right now you've been reviewing what you've created, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I'll remind you, if you don't like what you're seeing, write a new story. If you don't like what you're experiencing, the best way to change it is to embrace it, and then it will morph. But I guarantee you what we're all going through right now are reflections of old things colliding with the reality of now. As you're letting the poisons come from the body, mind, and spirit, again, let them go down through the earth. Feel the magnetic pull of the earth. Again, many are afraid of the earth. We're having lots of earth changes, lots of movement. There's nothing to be afraid of. Feel the comfort of the magnetic field. Feel the comfort of being pulled to the earth. And let the poisons go. You've been experiencing things for hours and days and weeks here that you have to let it go. Let it go. We tend to want to hang on to everything, and there's a huge accumulation that's around all of us right this moment. We want you to let it go. Let the burdens go. Let the worry go. Let the fear go. Feel the pull of the earth. Feel the tender, comforting energy of the Divine Mother as she's pulling the poisons of the body, mind, and spirit down deep into the earth to be transmuted. Again, on the bottoms of the feet, there are hundreds of wheels of light or chakras that are grounding you to the earth. You're a walking tree. I want you to feel how safe it is to walk on this earth, to move. It's not a time to hide, not a time to be separate. It's a time to be in your empowerment. Feel that foundation of your own 2 feet, standing on your own 2 feet. Part of how fear works and disempowering works is to get you distracted, get you worrying about this or that and off of your course. I want you to feel the power and empowerment of you. I want you to feel the top of the head opening up. It's already open. The crown chakra is majorly open. The third eye is open. I want you to feel that connection with the sky, with the heavens, with the electrical energy of the Father. And I want you to let that electrical energy that's connecting you high, high, high up into the stars, up into your own individual star, let that energy come down through the top of the head, The electrical energy is being pulled by the magnetic energy of the mother. Let it come down and open to receive. Again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask for a cleansing and healing of the immune system. There's been a weakening of the immune system. So if you've been feeling dizzy, off-center, weakened, your immune system is working hard. You may even find yourself sweating and thinking, do I have a fever? Fevers are not your enemy. Fevers are burning up the dross. They're burning the parasites. They're burning the miasms. You're being healed. Again, we ask all pictures of death be turned into pictures of life, all pictures of thinking that you're ill. We want those turned into a healing process that you're in. So we speak to the immune system. We ask it to fill with light. We ask the endocrine system, the immune system, to be filled totally with light, to recharge, reboot, come back to full capacity. You may be feeling a tingling energy moving through your fingers, through your head, through your body. Allow this electrical magnetic energy to recharge every part of your being. It's safe to see with the inner eye. It's safe to hear with the inner ear. It's safe to feel empathically in a safe way. It's safe to experience unconditional love and the path of compassion for yourself and others without being a victim. When we feel sorry for ourselves, when we feel sorry for others, we have an attachment that's unhealthy, that will lead to codependence, that will lead to more suffering. And this is one of the big last cords that lots of you are carrying around, that hook into feeling sorry for self, for others. Let it go. Let your heart be open. Let the compassion flow out. Compassion is actualization of unconditional love without attachment. We ask the last of umbilical cords to come up that may be binding you, trapping you into relationships, into patterns, into situations where you're giving your power away because you feel sorry for something or sorry about something, or you're not clear on who you are or why you aren't feeling safe to be in your own empowerment. This is a huge issue that's happening right in this moment for everybody. Safe to be a powerful spiritual being of light and on the earth at this time in a physical body. You are created out of love to be happy, joyful, prosperous. We ask that anywhere that you are captured in the body, mind, and spirit by dark thoughts, dark forces, things that would bind you, things that would confuse you, things that would give you the illusion that it's hopeless, that you're trapped, that there's no way out, that no matter what you do, things keep occurring over and over again. Let it go. Bring it forward into this moment. Again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask for an activation of the original DNA that exists in everybody. We ask for that switch to be turned on in a way that's appropriate for each individual. We ask all the gifts of Holy Spirit that people have to come into full activation, and again, in a way that's integrated, in a way that's positive. Then we're going to ask for, again, the gathering of all negative umbilical cords. We ask Spirit to bring you back in time to where anything went off of your original divine blueprint that's not causing pain, suffering, negativity, blocks, codependence, toxic connections, dysfunction, addiction, attachment to suffering. We can get so used to suffering that it's what we think is right. Bring all of the cords forward. Just know that they are like tentacles. We just ask Spirit to go back in time to where any of us went off of our original divine blueprints. Anything that's blocking us from having complete happiness, fulfillment, joy, prosperity. We ask those cords to be coming forward, gathering, gathering, gathering. You might even feel points in your body, points in your being, where you're feeling sensations or tingling. These are points where you're connected in attachment ways that are not healthy. It's a lot of what dis-ease is. We ask all the childhood memories that are negative. We ask the DNA of the family, sins of the fathers that go through 7 generations. We ask all patterning of the body, mind, and spirit that's not right to come forward, to be shifted, transmuted. Go deep into your heart, and anywhere there are wounds, abandonment, rejection, unrequited love, low self-esteem, despair, bring all that forward into the light. All judgment of self, of others, all the critiquing that we all do with our lower mind. Ask anywhere you're being trapped in the body, mind, or spirit. Any of the cords that are binding, we ask them to come forward into the light for transmutation. Those that do not choose to be filled with the light, we ask the Archangel Michael to sever mighty cutting of the cords. There's beautiful energy moving through your body, mind, and spirit, around you, inside of you, cutting, cutting, cutting the cords, cutting you free. I want you to feel the power of the solar plexus. I want you to go down into the navel area. I want you to feel safe to sit down in the middle of your body. If we are made in the image of Creator, we are here to co-create. The center of your being is your navel, your umbilicus. It's your connection, not just to Birth Mother. It's a connection to the universal energy. And we ask for a clearing and a healing. I want you to see the central sun that you are in this area. I want you to imagine this beautiful, beautiful orange and yellow. There's like a flame. There's a lot of purpley energy mixed in there. I want you to feel the power of the middle of your universe here. And I want you to turn that sun on. Let it shine. Let that light radiate out. Let it burn out the fear, the karmas, the blocks, the hurt, the pain. It's safe to have power and use it wisely. It's safe to be a powerful being of light. It's safe to go and retrieve all the places you've left your power behind. It's safe to bring all of you into one moment here. It's safe to remember your spiritual origins and why you chose to come back to this place that you're in right now. Just shake free from all the other distractions. It's safe to trust the right people. It's safe to trust yourself. It's safe to believe in yourself and in your path. It's safe to take action. There are huge energy surges, again, that are going on in the earth. I want you to feel them now going through your body in a way that's transmuting, that's positive, that's healing. And as you return to the consciousness of this room, this process of healing, remembering, connecting, coming into your full empowerment, will continue into the night, into the dreams, into the days to come. And I want you to return feeling refreshed, renewed, safe, open. Feel the tingly energy, but you're going to be feeling it not just in the body, physical body. As you become more and more and more consciously connected and aware of the big being of energy that you are, you'll start to feel that energy long before it hits the physical realm. And this is what's happening, but it's been happening to many of you in an unpleasant way. So again, just come back and we're going to talk about this. As the illusion of separation has been healing and you've been awakening to who you really are, it's been a shocking experience and it's been overwhelming. As the blocks are being removed, you are becoming more and more aware of what you don't like, what you don't want, what you will not tolerate anymore. So if you've been feeling, again, angry, frustrated, it's very important not to judge the states that you're feeling right now. It's very important to be with those states of consciousness. If you've been feeling fear, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, we've been so used to talking about how we feel or talking about what we're experiencing or not talking about it and stuffing it, that it's still happening, but we're not doing anything with it. And so it creates dis-ease. It creates depression. All depression is our denied feelings. It's when we've pushed down all that's happening. The way to be happy and free right now is to embrace any circumstance that you're in. It's not going to go away. It's only going to intensify. So if there's anything hidden or that you've been hiding, all your skeletons are out of the closet. Who cares? Who cares? We've all been remembering where we messed up, what we didn't do right, what we could have done in a different way. Don't do it that way anymore. Know that you have a clean slate, but to have the clean slate and to move forward, you don't want to have the old junk with you. So just like if you just imagine that your life, you got a new computer. Would you want on this new computer, do you want to have the old list of creepy people or emails or junk mail or crap or pictures or things that, are your pet? No, you got a clean slate. But in order to clear the slate, you've had to remember. You've had to remember what went off, where you went off your path. You've had to feel it, see it, and bring it into now. How do you deal with that? Embrace it and be joyful. Know that it's not there to punish you. Know that it's not there to make you feel bad. It's there so you don't do it again. And again, it's not all bad things you're seeing. You're also remembering wonderful things, good things, happy times. The most amazing thing to me, again, is having this connection where I'm having people come in that have not literally been here for 20 years, 30 years even, 15 years for readings. They walk in, the minute I see them, the minute we sit down, it's like I remember everything that was going on back then, but it's now. People are bringing tapes in. They're going, listen to this. You won't believe this. I found a tape when I was moving, and you told me something that's happening now, but you told me this 20 years ago. I've shared before, for a couple of years now, anything I'm doing, feeling, thinking, having conversations about, I will walk into a room and the same thing is going on or being talked about on television, or be out in public and I'll be thinking of a subject or on the phone with someone, and other people are having the same conversations. We're in a point of synchronistic activity. When there's synchronicity, it means you're in the right place at the right time for the right things to happen. And I had shared with people before about finding randomly, it wasn't random of course, a few weeks ago, finding this dream book that from 1996, and there was only 4 pages written in it. And I got really depressed when I first opened it because it was January 11th, 1996. I only went, and it wasn't, the first part wasn't about a dream. It was about what I wanted to accomplish, what I wanted to do, what I was working on. And at first I'm going, well, crap. How many years ago is that? I'm still working on this stuff. And Spirit goes, no. Think about how you really were then and what was really going on and how different you are now. So I kept turning the pages. And again, I come to this dream. I come out and I go, Glenda, you won't believe this dream. I was dreaming about, and in 1996 I had not built on to the round house, to this house. So a terraced place behind my house didn't even exist. It's a rainy day, and I'm reading the dream. It's a rainy day. There's a woman planting purple flowers on a terraced place. I look out, and a woman that had volunteered to come to plant flowers was on the terraced thing that didn't exist in 1996, planting purple flowers. Then I went, oh crap, I'm going to die. Then you get nervous. It's like, whoa, okay, all this stuff. Yeah. Okay, beam me up, Scotty. I guess I'm going now. I was afraid to look on the next page. I was like, whoa, what's going to be on the next page? And it's continued because I'm very unorganized. I will start to write. This is why, but the book is going to come together because I'm finding all the pieces. It's like finding the scattered pieces of yourself everywhere, finding all these pieces of writings and things, and I'll start to writing something, and then it's like it disappears in the thin air. So I start another journal, right? And then, oh, well, now I've got all the journals. We've cleaned out the house, and everything's in one place. Only been here 30 years. In July, 30 years ago is when we started the center here. It seems like it was 3 years ago or 10 years ago. 30 years. 30 years ago. So today Glenda brought a book, and she goes, look, it's another 1996. I sat there I started to read it, and this was, these dreams were so right on and about right now and about the past and about past relationships that when I remember having the dreams, I could remember writing these dreams. I could remember in the moment actually having the dream and writing them down. But now I understand them. And now I get why I'm reading it now, because the things that were prophetic in the dream are what are unfolding. So I encourage all of you, don't be afraid of what you're discovering. The moment we're in right now is what you've been waiting for lifetimes. That's why there's billions of people on this earth. We're all back for this earth change. Don't be a victim of fear. Don't repeat the patterns that have robbed you of your joy. They're not here to show you your failures or negative things. They're here to say, look at, remember who you were then. Look at where you are now. Bring it, it's all here. And with your free will, you have decisions to make. I've been talking about this for weeks, but I understand it better in my own life right now. There's only two choices right now. Your life has gone full circle. All of our lives have gone full circle. There's no more linear. There's no more cyclical. Your pile of karma, your lessons, your mission on earth, all of it is here. It's what you do with it. And you can either spiral up, morph up, or you can descend down. There's no middle. All religions, all spiritual beliefs talk about the time that we're in. I will spit you out of my mouth if you're lukewarm. You can't be on the fence. There's powerful, it's not just in Revelations, it's everywhere. This is not a time to cop out. This is not a time to be lukewarm. This is a time you take a stand in your life everywhere for what's right. You can't, and you're going to know. You're going to know what your truth is, what your right path is. So again, as the fears come up, as the thoughts of death, of dying, of disease, of illness, of endings, of all the overpowering darkness that's tried to take the joy for so long, tell it to go away. You have more power than anything that is not of the light. You have true power that comes from within. This has nothing to do with calling on things or doing this or doing incantations or lighting candles and all the different things a lot of people feel like they have to do. I'm talking about when you are on fire from within, when you are alive from within your own being, and you are truly in your place of empowerment. You have the full armor of God on you. You're fully protected. But it's easy right now to not believe that, because We were talking about this earlier, and there's some people here. We've all been experiencing amazing amounts of phenomena. Some of it's very, you call it interesting, I'm used to it. Nothing's paranormal to me, so I'm used to things, walking around, feeling things, hearing things, seeing things. There's been an inordinate amount of, I've actually seen things move across a table, fall off, be thrown, be hit by things fall, things move. And so I'm going, okay, what's trying to get my attention here, right? We talked about earlier, and some of the parts you weren't hearing, some people are seeing huge dark beings. It's not your imagination. You all believe in mythology. You see mythologies, and people are fascinated with all this kind of stuff. It's all there. It's what you do. To me, I'd rather see it. It's like, okay, I see you now. You're not hiding. Okay, who are you? Why are you here? It's how you deal with the demonic energies. It's how you deal with the dark forces. And I will tell you how you deal with them. Don't dance with the devil. We don't live in a time to be distracted by being seduced into getting too familiar with it. It's there, and you say, if you're not of the light, if you're not from my highest good, then you're not allowed in my space anymore. End of the story. And at first you might think, well, yeah, right, I can still feel it, I can still see it. I guarantee you it will start to fade away. One of the hardest things for positive people, good people to do is to be in their full empowerment. We're all taught at a very early age to think something is wrong with power. And when you hear the word power, we're all used to how so many people have misused power, misused money, that we start to believe there's something wrong with money, there's something wrong with power, there's something wrong with being in your empowerment. It's a mind control. You've been mind controlled to believe that. And you want to know there's a right use of your will. There's a right path for you to bring all of who you are into this level. You don't have to be passive aggressive. You're going to notice that passive aggressive people are going to really annoy the heck out of you. If somebody is saying something to you in a very passive aggressive way and you know exactly what they're meaning, you may just snap on them. That's okay. Because you know what? Then you're not being passive aggressive, you're being direct. It's okay to be aggressive. And I'll find myself, sometimes, again, you don't want to hurt somebody or something. There's reasons why all people kind of go into certain types of passive aggressive. I have found that I open my mouth and I'm just saying what I need to say right now, because why bother to do anything else? Why pussyfoot around? Why go? The faster you are in what you're in and you're doing what you're doing, the faster you're achieving your true empowerment, and you're not wasting your energy and your time on spinning your wheels with things that aren't right, people that aren't right, situations that aren't right. And that's a very tough thing too, is there may be certain people. It doesn't mean you shun people or you're judging people. Pay attention to who makes you feel good and who makes you feel bad. It's real simple. And you all know what I'm talking about. You can be around some people, and the minute you're right, you see them, you're just like everybody that's sitting here tonight. I just love all of you, and you have the most wonderful, positive energy. And when I see you, I feel uplifted. And there's some people, the minute you see them, you feel like they're Dracula, and they have drained every ounce of blood out of your body. And they don't have to do anything. You just get in their energy field, and it's like, oh my God, where's the stop? It's very real. But again, we've been taught not to believe what we're actually experiencing. For some reason, we go into denial, and we'll just because certain things are familiar, many times you'll just keep staying connected with people or situations that are psychic vampires. You don't have to. It's time to slay those dragons. It's time to slay those energies. You don't want that connection anymore. When we did the big, big, big gathering of the energies, I can tell you more than you might believe or feel right this minute. over the next 9-10 hours, over the next 9-10 days, for all of us here, all of you out there, you are going to be having it will seem like it's magical things happen where things that have blocked you, things that have bothered you, situations that had power over you, thoughts that had power over you, addictions that had power over you, they're going to be gone. Everybody did a really good job when we gathered up and gathered up and gathered up and gathered up. It became almost like this big Jack and the Beanstalk. It's like this big stocky thing. I saw it. It was like, kept gathering. It was like this huge, huge thing. We cleared that. Then another realm came in of, oh hi. Another realm came in of the more subtle things that bind us. Those got cut. So you're going to start to feel joy, happiness, fulfillment. You deserve it. Let that energy in. If something isn't happening the way, this is another lesson I think that we're all going through right now. I've had different things. Yes, I'm still trying to refinance my house. It's only been 2.5 years. And in the last 6 weeks, it's almost happened 3 times now. Well, 2 actual down, okay. And so I finally said to Spirit, I said, well, maybe I'm not supposed to have a mortgage. Maybe somehow magically I'm supposed to have money that manifests so I can go, guess what? I'm just paying off my house. So I was going to put that out to the universe, I'm not going to limit. Instead of getting depressed, I thought, well, you know what? There's another plan. Maybe there's just, I'm not supposed to refinance. Maybe I am supposed to somehow be free and clear of a mortgage. Why not? And when I had that thought, an unbelievable burden lifted from me. And then I wasn't attached to that. I wasn't attached to any of it. So instead of being on that ride of, well, now you need to show, first it was like, you need to show this. And then another company was like, well, why do you have this? It was like, are you kidding me? So when I got out of the ride of wanting what they wanted or didn't want, it all started to, I thought, that's not my ride anymore. I don't want to be at the mercy of what they think my house is worth, not worth, what they think, speculate. I realized I had a really clear dream that I know one of the companies, it had to do with what I do for a living. There's no doubt in my mind that it was prejudicial. It came right down to that, and I knew that it had to do with what I do. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. Gee, I'm not like people I won't name but have made themselves a church. Sully Brown. And I thought, really, and that's the sad thing. A lot of people that get into the field that I do have made a bad name because they turn themselves into churches, nonprofits. They exorbitant ways to do fraud, to hide. I've always been an open book. This is what I do. This is how I do it. Blah blah blah. End of story. So I felt very free because I thought, no, there's something I'm learning. Whatever instead of like resisting or ducking and weaving from it, I've been, okay, now I'm embracing whatever this is. And it's been very, very freeing. And I would invite everybody to do the same thing because I think, again, we can get so goal-oriented or so focused on, in my case, I'm going to save $1,800 a month when I refinance. Yeah. And that's been my favorite one. Well, you can't afford, okay, if I'm paying something where I paid $1,800 more a month, and you tell me I can't afford $1,800 less, that was actually used as, yeah, you're going, there's no nonsense, it's nonsense. So that's when you just get it out of your head. It's like, okay, no, okay, whatever. Whatever's going on, I'm accepting. And I'm trying to do with everything that's going on around me right now. Instead of being in a reactive space, I've been in a very centered space. I had a very neat thing. I wrote about this on Facebook, but I'll share it with people. My brother my mother passed over, made transition on April 10th, and I was lucky enough to have been with her. And it was a beautiful experience. And I had had dreams. Well, because she'd been in my house. She'd been like throwing things around. She'd been tearing around this house. I actually saw her full figure walk by one night, scared the crap out of me. I'm like, then I realized it was my mother, so it was okay. But I was like, the dogs were barking, and I mean, I saw this woman, and I knew it was her. And I thought, well, this is really interesting. She loved this house. She lived in this house. She was very attached with this house. Okay, she's here. This is good. My brother had different types of dreams where she still looked not sick, but he'd seen her in varying degrees of healing and restoration. And she was with my brother who died of leukemia in 2005. So different things. Well, I hadn't had those. Well, instead of going, darn it, why aren't I thought, okay, I'm just having a different, it doesn't matter because I feel her all the time and whatever. So that's what I loved about it. I have had no expectation. I've not sat around and think, I want her to communicate. And again, it's very important. There's such an emphasis in the spiritual psychic world with talking to people on the other side. It's not a religion. It's not something you want to get hung up on. It's good to have those connections. It can be a distraction. It's the phenomenal wasteland. It's how dark forces work in very mysterious ways to distract people. It's good to get closure. It's good to have communication. But to have that as a focus, no. You're here. You're here, they're there. The illusion is there's a separation. There's not a separation. So last week is actually last Wednesday night, which instead of having the oracle, we had our own oracle, and lots of magical things happened. I had lots of things converge that night. And actually that day, we'd had my mom cremated. And that particular day, in Elwood, Indiana, of all weird places, there's a place that makes crystal balls, makes glass things, but they make beautiful things. You can get to have scoops of little cremains, as they call them, cremains. So they call parts of cremation. You can have them put in something. So I had my mommy put in, how this works. She's in here. Well, it's just a little bit of her. And I'd had one made for my brother, one made for me, and they arrived. And they're all different. And they actually show you how they make them. It's a very small mom and pop thing. And she was into the Holy Spirit, so we had the dove, and it's just beautiful paperwork. And the one was way bigger and heavier, and the formation was different. I thought, how cool is that? It's like it's not this rote, and it shows you how they blow the glass and how they respectfully pray, and they put the cremations in, and so that showed up. And it was a very eventful night. I ran into very key people. Many parts of my life from my points of first origin of actually coming in the 70s to Indianapolis, manifested, down to seeing my ex-husband with a new girlfriend, which was great. But there's all kinds of stuff going on in one spot. Just at one time, last Wednesday. Go home, lots of other things happen. I go to sleep. I'm half awake, half asleep, and I see this beautiful stone wall, and I see an older woman. I didn't see her face. And she says, would you help me? Would you heal me? And I said, sure. So I walk over, and I place my hands on her. And the most amazing thing happened. I was totally realizing, again, not consciously realizing what it probably was at that moment. When I touched the form, I realized there was a form, but it was energy. And when I touched this energy, and I could grasp it and feel it, I felt myself totally as energy and merging with that energy. And at first it startled me, and I was kind of afraid, and I started to pull back, and the ecstasy and the warmth and the love, and the more I hugged and the more I stayed and wasn't afraid, It's the most unbelievable. I can't even, there's no words to describe the feeling that I had and still have with me from that experience. It was the most incredible, and I've written about this for years, how to be in heaven without dying to get there. How, Return to the Garden, Paradise Found, How to be in Heaven Without Dying to Get There. And many of the writings and things, of course, that I'm finding from the last 30-some years are about this subject. In this space, I was experiencing it. And it was, there are no words. I mean, there's no words to the second to describe, can't think of earthly words to describe the sense of wholeness, well-being, comfort, love, oneness, interchange. And then I slowly realized I was half awake, half asleep. And I look, and the cats, 3 of my cats were there, and they were awake, and they were like, and they were like, okay, that was pretty cool. We liked this energy. What was going on here? This was good stuff. And then as I awakened, I realized it was my mother, that there had been an encounter with my mother. But I didn't get it at the moment. But that was the best part, because it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that it was, and I realized that we were healed. It's just like when she made transition. I love my mother, but it's like, and she's most one, like a saint on this earth. But we had our own stuff, mothers and daughters too. Mothers and daughters too. My mother didn't want me to date. My mother was very repressive when I was younger. She was very controlling. It was out of love. But I mean, the second the woman died, I went to a party and for once didn't wear leggings. I was like, oh my God, I put on a short skirt, I'm going out. It's true. It's hilarious. A few days later. And you don't realize how, even at 64 years old, how, when my mom lived here, when my mom lived here for 18 months before she went to the nursing home, every time I would go out, now you be good. Oh my God, make me punch you out. What do you mean be good? Stay away from those, whatever. I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting. So we had stuff. And so in even her transition on the 10th, I saw, and she was so radiant and beautiful in her being, I saw a dark energy over her. I literally saw darkness over her. And I knew it wasn't her. And a friend of ours, Judy May, was there. And I said, Judy, we have to do one more round. And she goes, what's going on? I said, it's my dad. So she's still trying to forgive something about my dad. They got divorced when I was in high school, when I was in college. And when she was 3 of the 18 months she was here, her mantra was, he came home at 3 in the morning and I divorced him. That's practically all she said. And I would find pictures of him with his head cut off. I never did find the heads. I don't know what you did with him. And then she was fine. It was different. But I could see this way. So I went over to her. I said, Mom, it's okay. Forgive him. Let it go. He's here. They're all here. Everybody's here. Let it go. And we ran the energy. And her face, her countenance changed. And instead of the darkness and less of that worry, as a matter of fact, her face was even kind of like this. Her cheeks turned this beautiful rosy pink. Her beautiful blue eyes turned even more beautiful blue. And she went. So in this transition, in this dream state, or real state, wasn't a dream, I realized there was still, and my brother had dreams like this, where she was in different levels, and she looked like she did 10 years ago, but she wasn't like in her, perfected body, whatever you want to call it. Then as the day went on, and the cats that were there kept following me, and they kept trying to project something to me, it reflected back something that happened in 2010. And I've shared the story in different ways, but I know it's a direct connection. In 2010, it was, again, I'm never afraid of things too much. And I'm half awake, half asleep. My mom is living with me. And I hear people having conversation in my living room. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Somebody's in my house and they're talking. I could hear a man, hear a woman. I heard voices. And I thought, no, this is wrong. Why? This is really freaking me out. all of a sudden, my mom, as she was tending to do at that point with the dementia, all of a sudden her face is over my face, which startled me too. And she goes, they won't go. I can't get them to leave the house. I'm like, oh my God, what are you talking about? You can't get them to leave the house. Who are they? And she goes, well, come with me. I'm like, oh my God. So I leave the little room I'm sleeping in. I come out. I don't see anybody, but I can still hear conversations going on. And I'm like, okay, this is dimensional stuff. And she says, come here, I got to show you. So between the 1928 house that was built and the new house I built 12 years ago, there's a 5 Seasons room. She led me out and she goes, this is where it happened. I go, what happened? This is where I went with them. I go, who are they? And where did you go? What's going on here? And she goes, they took me up. We went up. And she goes, and she named 4 of my cats. I have 8 cats. She goes, this one and this one and this one. 2 of the cats are actually now in spirit, and they're with her. I've seen them. And out of nowhere, these cats appear, and they're going, hello, yes. Yes, they took us. And we don't know what happened, but we went up somewhere. It was, I mean, seriously, it was like a movie. I was like, oh my God. Then I look at my mother, and she was 90 when she passed, so this would have been, you know, she's 88, whatever. I look at her, and she looks, and this lasted for about 2 weeks, she looked like she was 60 years old. She looked like she was 50 years old. She had this radiance and this countenance. And I said, well, what happened? And she said, well, it was so exciting. And she said, I think she said there were 5 men and 2 women. She says they were so exciting, and we went up and they said that they showed me my things, my lessons. They showed me things, and they said I wasn't ready to go yet, that I had to come back. But when I was there, I saw things, and I got to finish things. It's like I finished school. I finished things, and you could see it because that's the way she looked, absolutely how she looked. So she came back. Then she goes, well, we've got to get these. And she was looking, she's pointing, she goes, and she's going, you have to leave. I can't see him. My mom's seeing him. If I can't see him, I'm going, this is really freaky, but I can hear him. And she's telling him, gotta leave. And she goes, they really like your house. I thought, yeah, I'm sure they do. It's like, get back in your ship and go. You know, it was so freaky. I mean, at the time, it was like just overwhelming. So it was like, okay. Then and then she goes, yeah, they're gone now. So and finally, again, that's what I'm talking about, this present time thing. I'm tying everything together in this present time. And so in awe of having an experience like that. Well, again, like I said, there were 4 cats that went there. 2 have already passed. Of the 3 cats that were with me when I had the experience a week ago, 2 of them were 2 of the cats, and they were the ones the most staring at me when I woke up. They were like looking at me like, yeah, we all win again. And so even in the world I live in, which is I'm so used to unusual and you know, it's just the norm for me, I've been having outrageously interesting good things, but feeling this overwhelming. Once that happened with my mother, I can tell you, in all the different levels I have experienced and thought, I knew levels of joy and happiness. That was amazing. And then to wake up but still have that in my being. And so anything that's happened since then that's felt overwhelming or negative, and I've gotten bombarded. There's no doubt when you do spiritual work, when you do the path that we're all on right now, you will be there are psychic attacks. It's real. And anybody tells you that demonic energy is not real, they're lying. They're liars. It's all real. But what's happened, the difference is I know what I know and I feel what I feel, and it's powerful. And when you have that experience, nothing can take that away. And so that's been a source of great comfort and joy. And so I would, again, your ways of finding your power and your balance and your remembrance of who you are and why you're here and what you're doing, it will come in many ways. And I'm going to tell you again, in letting go, and I've been finding things that I had no idea I even held onto. I've been ripping them up and burning them and think, why did I hang on to this hurtful letter somebody wrote me, or I thought I'd gotten rid of stuff. You find that, why is this, but your home's your consciousness. And so I've been just, cleaning the house, just pitching, tossing, and the more the things are leaving, the freer I am. So again, I would encourage all of you, let go of the past. It's the past. Don't keep expecting the past to repeat. It doesn't. It's your choice. It's about making conscious choices. And as hard and difficult as it is, stay the course. Stay centered. Stay involved. Don't check out. And we all do it. We all know certain things. Don't take the path of least resistance right now. Because you'll find that, guess what? It's not even going to loop around. It won't work. It just won't work. You won't feel good till you deal with the core of what you're supposed to be dealing with. Anybody have questions or anything you want to share?
Somebody was pulling my hair now.
Yes. Did you feel? I have felt lots of the crown chakra. She just said someone has been pulling her hair. Yeah. When we were doing, there was the meditation. There was a big opening of the crown chakra, and my head was itchy, and I felt yeah.
Touching me or here.
What I see in your vibration is you're having a total, things we've been working on for a long time with your family are coming full circle now. The closing of the death of your husband and the effects it's had, and going back into the family history and back into Europe, all of the things, I see it. When you guys came breezing in here, I was like, whoa. Whoa. And what's going on with your other daughter and everything, I could just speak the whole, finally, it's all coming into balance. So don't get discouraged now. Don't give up on any of it. And again, as there's always a resistance when families, especially, or groups of people start to change, it's like a domino hitting another domino. And the people that are still fearful and don't want to change will put up resistance. They will be negative. They will be, because they're like, whoa, wait a minute. What's this? It's affecting me. Yeah. And you can't, you have to go, well, it's too bad. That's just, because they will try, it's normal. They will try to pull you back. But nobody's pulling you back now. And when you said that about pulling your hair, I see your husband, I see your sister, I see many from the other side, and they're going, we're here, it's okay, it's all one thing.
I was seeing my sister
too. Very strong with you.
Yeah.
You're going to have lots of integration with her. She feels very happy. I get very free, because she had a tough life.
Yeah.
Very tough. And what I feel from her that she's saying is that, and this is the way it is sometimes, they get up there and they realize, what in the heck was I thinking? Okay, this was hard, but why did I keep staying in what was hard? Why didn't I make a change? So I think that's what she's learning right now, and that is happening to her. So that's a cool thing. It's a very awesome. And I had a dream about the things we talked about. Has that changed somewhat? We don't have to talk about it now, since we're on the air, but I got lots of insights because I know all kinds of stuff just because of 2 or 3 years of being around that situation.
Yeah, and that's why it's been kind of crazy the past couple of days, and I saw my dealer today or whatever, and he kind of
Your dealer. Let's clarify this.
My broker,
Better dealer.
And he basically said that I guess the state has put a close on it right now, and he said he said, well, you don't want to deal with this right now. He said, or you may not want to ever. He's like, you got to wait till the dust settles. But even when it settles, you may not even want to get into it. You know, even if it's 30 days after, you know, why would you want to buy it? Like, he was kind of like
No.
basically telling me not to.
But
And then I
no,
kinda
he's self-serving.
Yeah, and then I kind of got annoyed because I don't
Get
like
annoyed, he's self-serving. What he's telling you, there's not gonna be anything to buy, and he's going to,
lose money. That's what I thought.
he's
I
gonna
thought,
lose money, he might try to drag, or he will try to grab
and that's
that
what I thought. I
business.
thought,
Cause there's
well,
not
that
gonna
sounds
be
like a
anything.
better
for him.
opportunity for me, but I
It is a better
Yeah.
opportunity for you, so don't listen to him.
But I still got annoyed because it.
Cause they get
like,
10% when they sell a business.
Right.
They broker a
So I
business, they
kind of
get
got
10%.
annoyed when I left because I don't like anybody kind of telling me what to do.
Good, that's what we like to hear.
So then, like, I kind of left, and I've been like, I think I slept an hour last night. So I'm like, and I tried to nap today.
You
and I
should call
couldn't.
me, you know me, that's a,
Well, it was one of those things where like I kept on trying to sleep, and I had the TV on, and I was like moving from rooms, and like
yeah,
I
okay.
was trying to, and then I was laying there, and then like, yeah, and then I went and met him this morning for something else, and I didn't really care for it. But I asked him, he kind of did that, and I wanted to be like, I kind of got
I know
offended.
people that can,
Well, I kind of got offended because I wanted to be like, does he think I'm like some idiot?
but see,
And then
that's
I'm
where you
like-
don't take it personally. When people are narcissistic and self-serving, and it becomes very apparent, they're not thinking you're an idiot. They're
Right,
just
and then
thinking
I-
about
Not
themselves.
even that, but I
And-
almost felt stubborn, like, well, I don't care if it's crappy, maybe I still want to buy it. You know,
Good for
you can't
you.
tell me. You know, that's what, and I kind of left, and then I just kind of had this anger all day, and then it just kind of like dominoed into where I just wanted to strangle people.
That's okay.
That's why I thought I wanted to come here.
This is good. We need to get rid of the strangling thing.
Do you ever feel like that?
Oh, I know.
Like, I was just imagining strangling people.
But
Not
see,
that I ever would,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, I wanted to just hurt people.
oh yeah.
Not really.
No, but no, it's good to imagine it sometimes. Just yeah, there's good things about
And
just
so that was kind of annoying today too, because then I just left, and I was just kind of like,
no, because he was his wrong motive, and you know it.
yes. Because my whole thing is, you're
That's
just
what-
supposed to sell. You're not supposed to give me advice. Like, just tell
Has he
me
tried
this-
to show you any other businesses?
Yes.
You got it. But I think his is even a dual edge thing. I think he knows enough that there's not anything to even sell there because of what's going on.
Right.
And when that's all said and done, he'll have it's like a twofer. Right? He'll just guide you to another thing that he can get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So in the past couple of days, that's why, like, I
Yippers.
fell asleep the other night, but then like it's been this back and forth over email, and then like all this other stuff's been going on, and that's why I was like, I've been meaning to call you, and then this kind of happened today, and then when I saw, it's just been weird and crazy.
It's okay because and what you want to do as you're letting it affect you, let it be a positive way it's affecting you. Let it go into what does it remind you of? When else have you experienced that?
Oh.
Of people, notice what it's piercing, because that's what you want to notice. That's what anything that's happening to any of us right now, I guarantee you, this is the very tip of the iceberg. It's the tip of the iceberg. So you
And,
want,
yeah,
yes,
and it's like that happened, and even before that, speaking about my dad, like I've been in contact over Facebook with one of my second cousins who's on his side. And she's like exactly like us, but she wants to come over here. She's in college in actually Denmark.
oh wow,
But we've been chatting over Facebook probably daily. Like right now it's going to stop because she has her big exams coming up. But I feel like that's even been healing. And I'm so
Yes.
excited. Like I do want her to come, and she's very smart. And like she'll say things, and it just reminds me a lot about like either myself or like my dad.
right,
And it's funny, like the stuff she'll say, and it's an experiences she's having, and it's been really interesting.
And
Like
it's-
almost exact things like she'll say, and I'm like, I've experienced that exact same thing, like. But it's been really nice because it's just been this, I've never met her face to face, but it's just this whole like you said, like unconditional love and like all that. So
Everything's being brought into present time. So again, instead of like with your family, the memory of all the death and the loss and what isn't there, the generational thing, you're connecting.
Yes.
And there's a healing that will come from that. She will come over here. I feel very strongly she'll come over here.
Oh, she's very
Yeah.
determined. Let
And
me
she'll
tell
help you. It's going to be good. And
And she's very smart.
Yeah.
So she's very determined. I was like, whoa.
in the way I would look at like what's happening to you is you thank and bless this man. He brought you something that you know what you're going to, if you want that, then you'll be able to manifest it and you won't have to pay him any money or even buy some things. I love it.
So, yeah.
Thanks for showing your ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for, this is, hey, this is good. Yeah. No, this is, I picked up a lot of stuff about all that too. And just memories, because again, I was around that situation inadvertently for a long time because of, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know ins and outs and stories, and
Oh, I know.
so I get it. Very interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very interesting. Anybody over
I
here?
have a
Yes.
question.
Yes?
Do you have a question?
No.
So, from what I've got from tonight, the demonic energy that's in our house.
She's saying the demonic energy that's in her house. Okay, go ahead. She lives right up the street from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we tried talking with it, and it keeps attaching itself.
You don't engage it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I
Part of-
did,
part of it you
I
don't-
did the other day,
They're seductive.
and the thing is, I'm not afraid of it.
Right.
He is, but I'm not, and I think it's because the one I grew up with used to move stuff all the time, and I just got used to that.
Well, you did, right,
Wow.
right.
You know, and
Oh, yeah,
so,
you
and
do.
this one is
No, I
moving,
know.
is moving
Trust
stuff
me.
everywhere, and I guess I'm thought, oh, okay, this isn't new to me.
So when you
So
when you
do
talk
I-
to it, does it answer you back? What is
No,
what does it
that's
say?
just it. Because I was talking, it didn't like what I was saying because I did not give it permission to be in the house. I did
Exactly.
not give it permission to be on the property, and all of a sudden it was here.
Yes.
Oh,
And I told it, I don't care that you're here. I want you out.
There you go.
So then it did, and I called upon my spirit guy. I called upon, and he didn't leave. And it is a
Okay.
he.
Let's go beyond the spirit guides. This is what I'm talking about, and it's not a judgment of spirit guides. When this kind of stuff's happening, you call on
I did.
the light. You call
I did.
on
I
God.
called
You call
on.
on.
I
well, you call on
called. I did.
You get all the.
And
You
it
get the
wouldn't
big.
allow, but it wouldn't
Mhm.
allow him to go into
The
the back part of the house. I could, but it didn't allow him
In
to.
what way? What way did you feel like you weren't being allowed?
It said
go.
it was threatening me, saying that it would pretty much hurt one of my family members.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, this is how people get captured and held hostage. It's a typical thing of emotional terrorism, but the spirits, the negative energies can do that as well. Of course. So then you go and see that's the lie. And so, but
It's
what
a lie.
happens?
Yeah.
It's a lie. But when you're when you're a teenager, you know it's overwhelming. The last thing you want to have happen, something bad happen to somebody in your family. So that's when you know it's truly a dark energy that would convey something like that to you.
do you like candles in your house?
We do sometimes.
You
Yeah.
should light.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I want to come
But
up to your house.
because-
I'm very
because I told
curious.
it-
I know something I've seen in a vision about your
and-
house.
But from what you were saying, I'm getting more of, because we've asked it, what do you want? Why are you here? What do you want?
Mhm.
And Sam has his own theories because his grandfather is now coming daily to protect Sam.
Okay.
He's seeing him daily to protect Sam, which is fine because he flits in and out all the time anyway.
Sure.
And from what I was gathering from you, that we shouldn't even try to engage, like you
No,
said,
don't
dance
engage
with the
it.
devil. Don't
Don't
engage
dance with
it,
the devil.
Just say, you are not for my higher good.
Right. Go. Anything is threatening,
Because we
and
have
you're
tried to help, we have tried to
Right.
ask what
That's
you
a
want,
big- and it's
and
a-
he's not giving us, he's just threatening. And you don't, and you do, whatever you don't threaten the boy, and if you do, don't do it at my presence.
Exactly.
Because I'll take it out.
there. You go. That's
No one
exactly right.
threatens my kids.
That's exactly right. I'm the same way.
I don't care if you're living or dead.
That's right.
You do not threaten
Yes.
That's right.
You do not.
We got mama bears here.
And I'll take
It's
it
true.
on, and
Oh,
I'll
me too. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
have, and I will continue to
Totally,
do so.
that's, yes,
So we are just to totally non-engage,
yes,
that you are not of the higher good.
Right.
Go.
because what they feed off fear.
Right.
And when they can
I feel
manifest is
nothing.
that I've seen a very dark form. I know I know what it is. They actually feed off the adrenaline. They want you to be fearful. They want you to be, because it's a feeding frenzy. So
But the kids are,
well, of
and
course, because they can
they,
intimidate.
and well, this morning my daughter got moved out of her bed. It came up under her
Yeah,
bed and
no,
moved her.
no, we're gonna
And she doesn't want to be moved
we're
out
gonna
of
have a
her
field trip. We're gonna go into your house, and
Oh my.
I think I know where your house is, and it's interesting. There's a force. This is a real powerful energy around here, and so again, energy's energy, and it can be used for the negative or the positive. And I really think what's going on, it's a challenging for you to take control of your home.
Yes,
That's all.
yes.
End of the story.
Yeah, and we're doing good, but he said it's come around the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, this last 2 or 3 weeks has been challenging for everybody.
Hasn't the energy the last 2 or 3 weeks?
Oh, it's been, like I said,
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
it's been,
It has
Yeah.
been. Oh, I know.
you just you just keep moving through it.
Yeah.
Keep moving. Don't get stuck. Just
No.
you have to move through it.
And we have others that come and they go, do I have to leave too?
Yes. It's like,
And
just
like,
everybody needs
No,
to,
no, we help them and they
Right.
were not, but yeah, that's this one that.
no, it's gonna be
Yeah,
okay. It's, how are the animals acting? Do you still have your cats?
We have 10.
10 cats, I
Uh-huh.
have 8. People that have all this experience tend to have cats around because they help. Because they see fourth and fifth dimensionally.
Uh-huh.
How many do you have? She beats us. 12, 10,
You know,
8.
you know.
Let's see.
It
Okay.
varies.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, Mom.
And I love all the this is everybody, this is amazing. You guys don't see these people. We have a mother and a son, and we have 2 mothers with their daughters. And it's different. I love it. And I feel like Merlin's here in spirit. Yeah, that's good. That's so neat. I love it. What a neat energy to, especially what I was talking about with my own mother. Yeah, because our families are important, and it's time to be one. Any discord you have in your house, it's time for it not to be there anymore.
Yeah.
House divided can't stand. I kept hearing this all week. A house divided cannot stand. And they're talking about the energy within your own being, and they're talking about energy in your home. But a house divided cannot stand. So, yeah. It's a powerful statement. I've heard it over and over for the last few days. So that's what I've been doing, is trying to clear anything where there's discord or negative energy, because I don't want a divided house within myself or around me. Because how do the dark forces work? How do the borderline narcissistic forms they take in people as illnesses and diseases of the mind work? They split and divide people.
Mhm.
Every day of the week. It's what they do.
Mhm.
And it's what they're very good at.
It's a shame.
And you can bet when that's going on, it's not just a diagnostic thing if there's a borderline or a narcissistic personality. There is demonic energy behind it, because what does the dark energy want to do most? To split and divide you from yourself and from your loved ones. Because a house divided can't stand.
When?
And it preys on that dissension and that division. Because it's powerful when you're one energy is powerful, but when you divide, it becomes a house of cards and it falls down. So a house divided cannot stand. And the other thing I've heard all week long is you cannot serve 2 masters. You will love the one and hate the other. And when scriptures of all kinds, it's not just Christian scriptures that talk about you cannot serve 2 masters. We're not talking about God or the devil or talking about different levels of things. We all need to look at our lives and see where do we put our energy? What are we serving? And I can tell you, it can be subtle. There's sometimes you don't even realize that you are thinking that you are serving light or that you're doing a right thing, but maybe you're really not. It's self-serving in a way that it's bringing division in your house. So if you're doing certain spiritual work or certain different types of things and it's bringing dissension, it's taken mastership over you. So you want to look and see, for me and my house, where do we stand? And you want to stand only with the light. So that's what I've been doing, and all the purging and shifting is going, I want only that which is of the light, only that which is for my highest good. I willingly let go of people, objects, ways of thinking, anything that needs to go away. I don't want it. I don't need it if it is not for my highest good. And I only want to have one master. I only want to be in my divine plan, and the rest of it can go. And it can be scary sometimes, because then spirit will start to take certain things. You go, well, I didn't think it was going to be that thing or that person. But you can't worry about that attachment. It's letting go of the attachment. It's like the story of Abraham and Isaac. That's my last name. The sacrificial lamb. When he said, oh, God says, okay, bring your son that your wife had at 98. You're going to sacrifice your son. And when he was willing to sacrifice, there was no sacrifice. So a lot of times it's a test. It's about being willing to let go. And that's the tough part for everybody. Good stuff, huh? This is good stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a comment. We were meditating. I saw two hands like this, holding the ball of light, moving downward like that.
Ooh, nice.
No idea.
Well, it's the two hands holding the ball of light moving down is that divine father image. It's that male, positive male energy coming down to join into this level.
It was very cool.
So that's a good thing. That's that union. That's that saying, I've got you in my hands. You know, I love that song. He's got the whole world in his hands. Yeah, it's a wonderful song.
It was a very bright light.
It's a very bright. We like and that's what's happening on the earth right now. The very brightest of light is being brought down to this earth to dispel the darkness. So don't ever fear. This is good. Good stuff. And I like I said, just keep on keeping on. And don't be afraid of what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're facing. The main thing right now also is to don't get distracted, because it's so easy to get off center by little things. You know, it's not the huge stumbling blocks, it's the tiny pebbles many times that will keep us from moving forward. And I'm sure you've all had those hindsights where you look back and you think, why in the heck did I stop doing this? What was it? What? And you'll look and it was nothing big, usually. But the other thing is, it's about now. Because I think of certain things, if I had done them at a certain time, it would not be nearly as effective as the timing of now. So it's all about now. So thank you all for coming, and this was good, and we will keep holding the light.
Yes, make sure you turn
Turn
that
it
on.
on.
All right, yes, that's true. All right, okay.